Hey, what's up, everybody, man? This is your boy Tony Henry with Real Man Be Talking, and I got my boy to my left.
This is James.
This is BJ.
And this is TY.
And this is where we just have real conversations. So this is gonna be a very conflicting episode, man. I don't know where this is gonna go, but our last episode we talked about music. We talked about how music can change the feelings and it can change the thoughts. There's so much that music can do.
Culture.
It shapes a culture. It shapes a community. And then we got into talking about intimacy, relationships, and how music can, really, just do some crazy things in relationships. So, BJ, what are some things you pulled from the last episode that stuck out to you as we go into talking about intimacy?
Specifically on that, just the power that music has to make you feel and think and to affect your emotions, things that you thinking about, things that you want to do, things that wasn't on your mind. Now it's on your mind because the right song and the right mode of music was in mode.
That's right.
The right mode of music hit your body the right way, and now you feeling some kind of way. So we just got into we barely touched it, but I'm excited to talk about this because we talked about how music used to be more about love and the romantic side of things, and now today in our culture, music is a lot just about just sex, and of course we talked about like drugs and women and money, but it's very desensitized. And so now we're gonna talk about how music has.
Do you think we have become so numb to it, to the music? You think it's just whatever? Are we numb to the music now, to where it doesn't even phase us?
Yeah, we talked about last week how a bunch of things, music included, but talked about, food, we talked about religion, we talked about how these things, if not used the right way, can be used to kind of brainwash us and to dim our discernment and dim our senses to where we're not really even aware of what we're ingesting. So music, I mean, music
you, man,
has.
they put something in that Popeye's chicken sandwich.
And the chicken sandwich specifically. Yeah.
Put something in
2020 was a phenomenal year to
Is that
see
the
a
year the
lot of
chicken
stuff go
sandwich came
down.
out?
That was the year it came out, 2020.
The year
It was either
co-
20, what,
I think it was 2019.
2019? All I know is those lines was long as heck.
Who'd you pick? Who you had?
For what?
Chicken sandwich.
I don't eat meat, dog.
You didn't eat in 2019?
In
I don't know what
2019,
the
I
chicken
didn't.
sandwich
I
tastes
didn't.
like either.
You never tried it either?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of Popeyes. I
Yeah.
never was a fan
Oh, yeah.
really of Popeyes.
Oh, that was the
But-
debate: Chick-fil-A sandwich versus Popeyes. Depends on how you want to feel that day. If you want to feel like you left clean, Chick-fil-A. If you feel like you just want to be greasy and dirty, it's Popeyes.
That is
That's about right.
That's about right. Like
It's
literally.
a pretty
Depends.
accurate description.
Like if I'm going to work and I'm on lunch, I ain't got time to be on the toilet. I'm gonna just go to Chick-fil-A. But if it's a Friday night or Saturday, Popeyes it is. I got time today.
I think we had no
I got
choice in
time.
our family because Popeyes was like the go-to.
But it's always good to understand that when you go to Popeyes and it's two people in line, that's a very long line. You can go to a Chick-fil-A and it be like 30 people in line, but that's a short line. At
'Cause how long it
Popeyes,
take?
Because you want to know why?
oh yeah, Popeyes, you might mess around, man. You
Because Chick-fil-A has a
and they gonna
system.
have everything.
Chick-fil-A has a system that
We ain't got
works. That works. They have a formula.
We got
and they
spicy
do not
chicken
break
only.
that formula. You would never see Chick-fil-A
Yeah,
break that
they
formula.
got a system.
It's
They have a
'cause-
whole Popeyes don't have no structure
it's
at
'cause
all.
Chick-fil-A take a Sabbath rest.
You say what?
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A take
Exactly.
that Sabbath rest.
It's a
Yeah,
system.
Keep
it's a system
keep
that
the
works.
employees right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you ain't breaking that system.
Yeah, every time they protest, they lines get longer and they stores get bigger.
Just
Chick-fil-A.
like every time they indict President
Of
Trump,
course.
more support just come to him.
Just natural.
Anyway, so
Chicken and politics.
chicken and
Hey, that could be the name
Hey,
of our group. Chicken.
I
and
like
What
it.
if we start-
That's
what if
it.
We just start eating chicken. and
That's
talking
it
politics?
right there.
Let's do
Chicken and politics. That's the new move.
That's
actually.
never mixed for black
That's
people.
hey,
That's the new move. Like, hold on, write that. Can you write that down?
Right.
That we gonna have to put that in the
Trademark
notes.
got
We gonna have to-
copyright.
Chicken and politics. That's it right there. I'm rocking with it.
all right. So James, what did you take away from last week's episode, man? Like, what were some things that stuck out to you when it talking about music and how today's music versus, let's just say, 15, 20, and even 30 years ago, the culture is now? Like, what were some things that stuck out to you last week?
Yeah, I think he talked about it, just that discernment of, one, you just open yourself up to so much, especially, like when you are naive. I know that's a big part of my story of not knowing a whole lot, but you can learn a whole lot through the things that you're listening to or the things that you're watching. And for me, growing up, that was the music. So maybe you didn't know, about certain types of drugs and different things, or even how to talk to a lady, a woman. But you can hear certain things in the music or even in the music videos, and like, okay, now I'm going to go try that. So that becomes a place of, I would say, like influence. And that was one of the things that, stuck out. I know we were talking about the movie, They Clone Tyrone, and all of those things, of just how you have so many almost hands behind the influence, and just how we have to be more discerning, more in our word, and more led by the Spirit. But again, I had to learn those things throughout my upbringing. So I was a product of what I listened to at the time.
What about you, Tara?
I think just the whole idea that people feel like they can take the music from the world and try to incorporate it into the Christian movement and make it feel like, I guess they feel better that they're not in the world per se, but it's like the curse is still on the music. And I think that's what stood out to me the most was um, we try to complement the music of the world and put it into the church, and I don't think it brings the glory that they want from it. I think that stood out the most.
I totally agree with that. So as we was talking about as we was talking about music, it ended kind of differently than normal. We got into talking about, do we still listen to secular music when we're making love to our spouses? So I asked that question. You know, is there any music that you listen to when you're with your spouse to spice up the moment and become intimate with your wives? Or y'all just straight silent mode and y'all want to hear each other moan? I know that's a stretch, but hey, we here now. Cause me, I'm to, some Tank. I'm gonna listen to something to get my mind there, so that way, my wife get all of it.
There you go.
And like, a worship session. You know what I'm saying? I can't hear no here's my worship, all of my worship when I'm trying to, that's for God.
Different kind of worship.
Yeah, that's a different kind of worship. My worship is where my wife is. Yeah, the bed of marriage is undefiled.
There you go.
Huh?
So I know I think for me, like, so obviously, let's see, my wife and I was in the church for about 3 years before we got married. And I don't know, I think early on, I definitely was just like, all right, I'm not finna listen to Tank or different things like that. And, just do what we normally do, not only listening or prepping right before we have sex or become intimate, but just learning how to stir things up, early on in the day. But I remember like a season where the thought was like, hey, I kind of want to listen to some music, and it's like, okay, well, what we want to play, so we just try to listen to like some Christian R&B or something like that, and it's just not the same. So
I was just
but at
about
the
to ask
same
that question.
time, it's like even if you were to play like a playlist with some 90s or slow jams or something like that, then it's like, oh, skip that song, or we want to listen to that one. So then it's like we might as well not even listen to that either. So it was like just one of those things, but definitely not something that we do on a regular basis.
So intimacy. Go ahead, BJ. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You answer, and then I ask that question later.
We listen to Kurt Franklin.
Stump. Which one? He's for real, man. Like let him.
Nah, I'm not for real. I'm just playing.
Something
what's-
about it.
What was the question? So, what music did we?
He has
Um,
R&B.
GP, are you with me?
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. So I kind of take the approach. So Tyrell was talking about last week how we all kind of talked about it. Music has a mode. Music has, most music has a spirit to it. So I personally take the approach of not trying to listen to anything secular, just because I know when it was created, there was a certain spirit behind it. Who knows what the artist was doing to conjure up that mode or that sound or what they wanted people to feel when they created that song. Because music is we've said it a lot. Music is a very powerful tool, and the spirit behind it, I personally just wouldn't want that in my ears, in my mind, in my spirit. Even though I'm trying to do something good in the moment, and worship with my wife, I would personally prefer not to listen to anything that has that spirit on it. What do we listen to? I mean, there's some instrumentals out there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of Netflix on in the background. Netflix be on, and the next thing you know, we just turn it down and we have our fun.
Are you still watching?
And then, you got a good, you got a good
Netflix
20
and
minutes or
chill.
something before the screensaver come on, and you got to go reset it. But in 20 minutes, a lot of worship can be done. That's a whole worship service in a lot of churches. So
So wait. So what is? You say Netflix is on. What are you watching? that
whatever
is
we was
on?
watching, I mean, it could just be a regular show, and then the mood, we look at each other the right way, and then boom, it's gone. It didn't have to be something sparked us. But if we needed music to be a tool, we can find. James mentioned some good like old school stuff that's a little bit cleaner, or we've found a couple R&B instrumentals, or something that's just a little bit more on the cleaner side. But yeah, that's just me personally.
Sometimes though, Netflix like romantic movies and stuff that set the mood.
But what spirit was conjure up?
I mean, just
If
like,
we're going to say the same thing about the,
That's not the same as music, but I get where you're going with.
I'm just asking a question.
like a
what
love
it-
story.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what spirit was conjure up to portray that? Because not
We ain't talking
everybody
about
who's
Pandora's box, right?
I'm just saying, the things that are being portrayed with our eyes, saying what was conjure up, that's all I'm saying. Because if I'm sitting there and I'm seeing a TV show and all of a sudden I see a husband or just even a scene and they about to have sex and I look at my wife, I'm going to have sex now. But it's no different if I'm listening to some music and the music talking about sex, I'm going to want some sex. So you still have your eye gate and you still have your ear gate. So if we're going to cut out one, then we got to cut out the other, because you just can't have one and then just say this one is okay. That's what I'm saying, as a man, as a believer, that's how I look at it. Because you say if you got that Netflix and chill on, you put on some, what's a movie, one of the movies, and something happened. Hey, what's happening? What's going on? But now my eyes are open. You know what I'm saying? And now everything is open. I think that when it comes to those moments, we should be strong enough to understand that while the music is talking about sex or the whatever that is, at the same time is that the bed of the marriage is undefiled. And the Bible says he we're covered in that. It ain't like I'm trying to bring out whips and chains and all that kind of stuff and do some demonic stuff like that. But
well, why not?
But
I ain't that freaky. I ain't that freaky to be
You know
getting
why? It's
whips and
because
chains.
there's a line. There's
Yeah.
always a line to everything.
I hear
Music has
you.
a line, right? Some things can be made. All right, this is kind of neutral. It ain't going too far one way or the other. That's cool. Certain music has been made to cross a line. Not all music, but some music has been made to, if the artist is talking about just banging as many women as possible, or, just not trying to have no type of right mindset about love or intimacy. Sometimes there are lines that go too far. I'm just talking about those songs. Same thing with any kind of entertainment. You're right. If a lot of entertainment, you can say, who's the type of person that made that? Yeah, we ain't talking about any person that made anything. We're talking about these kind of lines. Just like when it comes to sex or intimacy, you can really say, anything is undefiled, but there is a line in intimacy where you're like, all right, even though the marriage bed is undefiled, this is kind of getting defiled.
You're
Like
going
this,
too far.
this is crossing a little bit of this is crossing a little bit of a line. So
And I think what you're saying is, what you don't want is it to go beyond the bedroom, and it can get to that point where it goes beyond the bedroom, and it's in the car with you, and it's everywhere you go. You got it in your headphones when you're listening, and it's like it's not just the bedroom anymore. It becomes a part of you in your everyday listening. So you definitely have to have that line that BJ's talking about.
I totally agree.
But in my
I'm in
case-
agreement. I'm just my whole thing is that you got the ear gate and you got the eye gate, and these are
There's another gate too, but anyways. In my case,
He didn't answer. Go ahead.
we don't need no music.
We don't need no music.
We don't need no music. So however it go. Often, like BJ said, with the Netflix or whatever, Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, Plex,
Just the screen on.
the screen on. It don't even matter.
turn the
The
dimness down.
sound,
Turn the
the
dimness down a
music,
little
A
bit.
little bit of light. Just a
The
little bit of light.
we are the music, okay? We are the music. We making beats.
We all got kids though, right? So sometimes the TV is just to keep the kids away.
Yeah, tablets keep the kids away. As long as they got a charged tablet, we all right. We'll be all right.
Fully charged.
Fully charged.
There's
Make
some
sure
prep that goes
you
into
gotta have it fully charged because they coming for that charger and they beat the dough down. I told you my son beat the dough down. He don't even know. Daddy.
you beating down, he beat
He
down at the
beating
same
down the
time.
door. I'm beating down. And I ain't stopping.
Stupid.
You gonna have to wait.
I ain't even stopping. Stop. I ain't stopping. Let me get the left leg.
What we talking about? Chicken? All right. So
Politics.
Chicken and politics. Politics and chicken.
all right. So what if you're trying to do something like romantic though? Like, I mean, obviously, okay. If we just talking about, midnight hours or whenever the case may be, probably throwing some music. But if you're just trying to do something romantic, like let's say like a bubble bath, roses, candles, like what type of music are you playing then? I mean,
See, this is one of those moments where we really need like a Lori to come in because she's like the master at that kind of stuff. But I think that
You get that?
oh, for you? Okay.
she's on point.
Oh wow!
I'm the-
I'm
the one. I'm the one that gotta get. I'm the one that gotta get better at it.
God, man.
We trying to get along.
I'm the one that gotta
Trying
get
to
better at
hold
stuff
back
like
this
that.
feeling.
I gotta get a lot better at that. I mean, obviously from a romantic standpoint, uh when you're dealing with the wife,
I'll
you
embrace
gotta
an
be
American.
yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta communicate. You gotta be in communication
that's one.
for that to happen. Yeah,
1-0.
yeah, 1-0, right?
Wow.
Sorry.
You got to be in communication throughout the day for that to be something that you experience. Because if you don't set the mood early on, I think what they said uh, they say if you don't drink all day, you can't say you drunk all day unless you start in the morning, and that's the same thing when it comes to intimacy. You have to start you got to start early. You gotta you gotta think about it like you're trying to drink all day. You gotta start early, and you gotta get it moving throughout the day so that when you reach that point, you already kind of there. You can make things happen. And that's one of those areas. My wife talks to me about like, hey, we got to start early, and I try to make sure that I get better at that. It's one of those areas where I do it, and then I drop off, and I do it again, and I drop off. So I got to get my consistency there.
Yeah.
Because I think that the experience that you receive as a result is phenomenal.
So, what are some things that your Lori, your wife, has done that just give us three things that sets the intimacy mode for you. That's give us three. And if you want to give us five, I'll take it. But I think three is good.
I guess it really depends, but I mean, if we dealing with the whole shebang where we got the kids and we got like mother-in-law, it's a lot of stuff that goes in. But we've had moments where it's just us, and that's a totally different kind of story. But we'll just focus on when we got the kids, and she still sets up everything. She got the candles going. She got the outfits ready. She's going with the outfit. I got to come in and you
Perform.
I got to go get in the shower, and then we can get to it. And it's like you have to be ready for whatever the case
Wait,
may
did this
be.
man just say outfits?
It was an S on there.
Outfits.
Okay.
Yeah, outfits.
One
So
for
y'all-
you and
so
one for
y'all-
her.
Y'all do some serious
Man.
like role playing.
I won't say I have outfits. I won't say that.
Oh,
I got a birthday outfit.
Wait a minute.
there we go.
So how did y'all?
I can't put on clothes after I'm out of the
So-
shower.
so-
What are you doing? You got them underwear for? Put that down. What you doing?
This man is
Get a
stupid.
towel and
So
some
that was-
stuff.
This
Not a
man
part
is
of the
stupid.
plan.
Not a part of the plan.
So did you have to ask or communicate that you needed that, or not? Did you have to? But is
It
that
seemed
like
I think-
even if she did that naturally? I'm just saying more so.
I
Is that
think it
something
was
y'all had
more-
to learn and build, or
No, she's very romantic type person. I think that she sets that up. She has a great imagination, as you can see. Graphic design, her imagination is incredible. So she takes it.
somebody about to get some worship tonight, boy.
She has an incredible imagination. It's
Oh,
me
you
that
wanna
has
see
honestly that
imagination?
has to get better at the imaginative part and putting together the whole story. I'm a worker. I can go to work and put money together, but when it comes to like the intimacy, she got that thing down.
I think
She
that's-
pulls me out of, I guess, kind of a shy mode, and I'm supposed to be the one with the experience, so it's kind of weird. But she got it down.
Before you go there. All right. No. So you said something good there, because I think as men sometimes we can focus more on, like you said, I can put some money together and I can provide, and in a sense that's you fulfilling that role, but we have to remember that our wives still need intimacy. So it's like, how do we get better? Like you said, I need to get better at that, but how do we as men get better at intimacy? Because it can kind of come off like
I heard something today that wait, was it today? I heard something yesterday that really hit home, and I feel like it was a huge part of the miscommunication that we have between uh, in our relationships. And he was saying a lot of women always saying like we need to communicate better, and it kind of brought me when he said what he said. It reminded me of what I say often, but I never thought about this in the terms of intimacy. He said communication is not the problem; it's understanding what you're saying. That's the problem. And so you can be communicating all you like with your spouse, your significant other, but if y'all don't understand each other, it's almost like a moot point. Y'all just talking. Y'all can tell, I want this, I want that, I want that. But if she don't understand what you want, it don't matter. And if you don't understand what she want, it don't matter. Y'all communicated. Y'all had the conversation.
Yeah.
All of that conversation was there. The communication was there, but was the understanding there? I was like, dang, he was right.
So my question is, what is intimacy?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So he actually started defining it. It starts with understanding, seeking to understand,
Yeah.
and just being intimate is being intertwined. Like we're in each other's minds, we're in each other's heart, soul. Obviously, physically, that's a part of intimacy as well. But I think it starts with just seeking to be intertwined on all of those levels. So I think what he said was right on, just about trying to understand the other person, not just I'm always telling you what I need or what I want, but it's the other person to let you in and then also try to get into your mind, try to get into your needs, into your wants, your desires, etc. So it's just that common intertwinedness.
I had an OG tell me one time when I was working at Sonic, and I used to work at Sonic. I miss working at Sonic though. I want to
miss
own
working
a
at
Sonic.
Sonic.
I really would like to own one, even though I don't eat that stuff no
All of
more.
y'all work at Sonic.
I was
Um,
gonna say, the whole family.
but he came to my drive through. He was dating somebody that I went to school with, and he looked at me and he said, "Young blood, I want you to understand what intimacy is." And he broke it down to me in the simplest form. He said, "Intimacy is into me you see."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Whoa, wait." He says, "Into me you see." You see my flaws, you see my ups, you see my downs, and you still like BJ just said, you intertwine yourself with me. You still involve yourself. We involve ourselves with one another to the point to where we are so intertwined with each other that it doesn't matter what we're going through, what we're experiencing, it would never trump what we our intimate moments with each other. Like he said that so simple to me. So that's why I had asked like what is intimacy, in y'all perspective, because I think that we are living in a time to where people don't want intimacy, they just want me. They just want themselves. They just want to be heard, they just want to be seen, and somebody is lacking while somebody is getting what it is that they want. And how can we have a successful relationship if both parties are not being intimate with each other?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it visually, like when I think about what you said of intimacy, like a lot of times when we think about being intimate, it's just like I'm attracted to what I see, like outside. And okay, now that I'm aroused or you're turned on and we're doing what we need to do, now there comes a point where now that that's out of the way, now we have time to connect on a deeper level. Um, I remember, early on, like when I started, like having sex and stuff. One of the first times that happened for me, it wasn't like, hey, it just happened. Like I remember like laying in the bed and just talking for a long time, like, and I'm like, hey, this is weird. Like this is not how I think or how I heard in music how it's supposed to go. It should be like, hey, let's just do it and be done and I'm out. But I was just sitting there. We were talking and all that stuff, and then I guess I learned from that, like, hey, there's like a piece of this that got her like in the mood of just, hey, let's just chill and talk and stuff like that. So I guess exactly what you said of it's bigger than just seeing the outside, the physical, because if you just see that in your spouse, like, you're gonna miss what they're really seeking after. This is probably, this physical act is just an open door for us to have a deeper connection, a stronger connection. Like cuddling. I remember I had an OG that told me, like, hey, like, what you cuddling for? Like, why are you having sex and cuddling? Like, that's a no. And I didn't understand that growing up, but it's like I started to act that out. But once I got married, it's like, no, we finna cuddle. It's a different. So it's like little things like that. It just either it can create a time for deeper connection, or it can push you away.
Dang, he told you not to cuddle.
He said no cuddling. Man, I had one. Listen,
See, just before you go,
yeah, because I got another story on that.
The he was right in the street terms, because intimacy is vulnerability, and cuddling creates vulnerability. When you don't want vulnerability, you got to get out of that. And cuddling is a no.
You start telling all your secrets, Samson. Samson.
Yeah. So if you was talking about trying to keep yourself away from intimacy, that's a perfect way to keep yourself away from intimacy, is avoiding the cuddling. No, you shouldn't be avoiding the cuddling. If you want intimacy, you need to have that vulnerability there.
I'm talking about, what's her name? Putting it on Samson, making that man vulnerable.
What's she? Tell me
your strength. And he would not tell her.
He was strong for a little while.
He was strong for a minute. And that, I guess that last worship session just really just
wearing him down.
I'm talking about that man finally came out and said that secret. Whole life change.
That's why you got to be careful who you're intimate with. Steal your strength.
That's that is a part of the basis for the Rastafarian religion. Samson.
Expound on that, because you can't open that door and then don't expound on it.
Well, one of the main reasons why they don't cut their hair is because of the strength. That's where your strength is. So they keep their hair.
I've heard that. I actually wrote a paper on that in college. What about even if you take it another step of people or guys who, I forget what the term is, but that keep themselves and like they don't have sex for a long time because they believe that is something that holds their strength, and there is wisdom in that, there's power in that. I forget what the term is. I have to look it up. But like when you're not
sexually
ejaculating and things like that. Like,
is it semen contention?
Right, semen retention.
Semen retention,
to where, you're
there's another term called transmutation.
That one too.
I've heard and did just a little dive into it, to where if you are releasing yourself way too much, you're literally pulling from your bones. You're pulling from your bones, and you're weakening your bones. You're weakening your body every time you release yourself in multiple women, because your semen is a what they call it. It's a communication tool. So just like when you have sex with your wife and she had your babies, or you start wondering why your wife is acting the way you act, because she has a part of you inside of her. So every time you release yourself into a woman, you're literally releasing your information. That's what it is. So it's information, your code, and that's weakening your bone structure and all that kind of stuff like that. But so let's do this. Let's do this.
Hold
So
on,
is
wait.
that the
He
Huh?
had another story.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Is
Oh,
that
the
the
other
real?
story.
Huh?
Is that the real?
All right, so the other story is this one. Same OG.
is that the real that Eve got?
I don't even know if I can say this, but so obviously, like when you're being intimate
I
with a
can't stand
woman,
talk real, by the way. I really can't.
but when you're being intimate with a woman, obviously she is, and this is real grown man talk, but she is visually stimulating, and it's not just about the pleasure for yourself. I mean, I didn't understand that, but I guess he was trying to teach me that. So, I'm telling him like, hey, I was doing this to her to try to turn her on. And like, what you doing all that for, man? Like, it's just for you. Like, let her do what she needs to do for you. But I guess I was trying to have the concept of it should be pleasurable on both sides. I should do things that please her. She should do things that please me. And it's like sometimes you can have influences that tell you otherwise. And that was, again, something that I had to kind of grow through and learn through of, hey, like my original thought was that this should be pleasurable on both sides, but now I'm being conditioned that it's just about what I need. So now I'm going to be acting that out, which is not how it's supposed to be either. So that was just the second story.
I knew it had to be pleasurable for both sides when I was watching porn, because they both had to please each other to get each other off. That's that's the truth,
Not all porn.
huh?
Some of it is just the man getting right to it.
Yeah, and some of women getting right to it. They both getting right to it. I'm just saying. So the woman got to get hers, the man got to get his. Yeah, I know for me when I got into having sex and being intimate and stuff like that, I was always the one just wanted to do the lovey-dovey stuff though.
Right.
I was never the dude who wanted to go out there and smash everything that walks. That was never me. I was in a relationship with.
So you was a lover?
I was a lover, man. I saw that's how I was.
Mr. Lover.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I'm a, you know what I'm saying, and that was me.
So you saying porn didn't mess that up for you? You
Mm-mm.
still wanted to?
It to at the time it enhanced my understanding of what to do. I pulled some things from
I
it.
would agree with that.
I pulled some things from.
something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
gotta do it this way. Okay, cool. The woman that I'm with at the time. I love her. Whatever the case may be, we're intimate with each other. We're doing the roles. We're being romantic. Okay, I know to do this because of what I saw. You know what I'm saying? They like my dad ain't teach me how to all that kind of stuff. So I learned from somewhere, but what was taught to me was love. If you love a woman, you'll respect her body, you'll do this, you'll do that. So those are things I love, and those are things that I carried on. So when I'm in those intimate moments, oh yeah, I'm gonna please the body. I'm gonna go to the neck, kiss, all that kind of stuff like that. But once we get going, it's a wrap. And I don't made it past 5 minutes.
That's the
That's the
benchmark.
goal.
What?
That's the goal.
What? I made it
Start
past
the time
5
on my
minutes.
watch.
What?
All
What
right.
time is it? Oh, we
5
good.
minutes.
Oh, we 5. Oh, yeah, I'm in there now.
Oh, we good.
I'm in there now. You know what I'm saying?
How
So
Cat Williams say? So you can do a lot of positions.
you
in
can do a
5
lot
minutes.
of positions. You know what I'm saying? A lot can happen. So I was looking at some stuff today, and the power of intimacy, and there was 4 levels of it: emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical.
Mm.
Let's talk about those really, really quick for each and every one of us. So let's talk about emotional intimacy. What are some things emotionally that you need to experience intimacy in?
I mean, I think we are, as men, sometimes I won't say we hide, but the perception is that we're big, we're strong, we don't feel, and I think there is a certain level of vulnerability that we need to have where, hey, I still have emotions, and I need to be able to communicate that. I think one thing that I've learned is that it's okay for us as men to have emotions, and then we have to be able to communicate those emotions in a healthy way. I think it's a difference. Sometimes we act out of our emotions the wrong way, and we don't communicate our emotions the right way. But if we can own our emotions and be able to communicate them effectively, like that allows for us to be more intimate with our wives, because our wives can share their emotions, their feelings, like that's a little bit more natural to them. But there is a place for us as men to be able to communicate our emotions and it still be looked at as strength, not like it's a weakness. Like, so that's a place where I feel like, we are emotional.
We call those he motions.
Emotion. Energy in motion.
Wasn't that a TD Jakes album too?
Was it?
It was
He
a book.
I
Emotions.
think you're right.
It was a TD Jakes Emotions.
He was singing.
Nah.
That was the
I
one
think
he was talking over.
Yeah, he was talking about.
That's a make love one right there.
Yeah,
I don't have
I
that.
think it's.
That was for the grandmas who wore them long, the long nightgown.
Hey, little grandpa knew something was going down.
Y'all see it right before you go. Did y'all see that? That reel? They was like, grandmas back in the day didn't need no sexy underwear and stuff like that. All they needed was a gown, and granddaddy knew what was going down. There's ain't no grandma pregnant. All right, go ahead, B. I'm sorry. Now I understood why mother always wore that dress.
Grandma pregnant.
Oh
Grandma's
my God.
pregnant. Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my God. All right, go ahead.
Young age, the
Emotions.
grandma's young. You got to remember the
Intimacy.
grandma's young
Grandma
these
these
days.
days.
Yeah, they're young.
They still 30.
Yeah.
Grandma.
35, 40.
Their grandma.
That's my grandbaby.
What?
Ain't you a grandbaby still? All right, go ahead.
How old are you?
Things different these days. What do I need emotionally? I think, oh man, that's like asking what makes a man feel loved. Like most of the time, it's men want to feel a level of respect, a level of being there, being supportive. So if we feel throughout the day, or throughout the week, whatever, just a level of, respect. Not that we're trying to lord over anybody, not that we're trying to be, these bosses or whatever, but is the thing that can really turn me off is disrespect, right? Disrespect or non-supportive. And of course that's on me to make sure I'm being a person that's worth respect, or, what's the term? It's not earning respect, but
Yeah.
giving
Respect is
respect.
given.
So make sure that I'm doing my part to be that person that can be
I
respected.
got the rest of the sentence, by the way.
You said you got it?
Yeah.
Then what is it?
I said, respect is given. And when you give respect, you earn trust. When you give disrespect, you don't earn trust. You get the opposite. You get distrust. Respect has a natural trust element.
Mm.
And that was the other part.
I agree. So, yeah, as far as emotion, I would say that's the main thing. I mean, y'all know I'm not crazy talkative, so when we do talk, support, listen, that's it. But just maintaining a level of consistent respect and support that would make me feel emotionally secure, I guess.
So being that you're not a big talker, do you have trouble like sharing your emotions like with your spouse?
I'm sure my wife would say that.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you,
Okay.
I'm sure if you ask my wife, she'll say that.
You feel like you're sharing your emotions.
I think we probably hit on this maybe the first episode or two. I share my emotions by maybe not speaking emotionally, but maybe trying to speak to either understand or help someone understand. Like that's how I try to communicate. Let me try to understand what you're saying. Let's talk logically. Let's work this out. Let's try to reach a solution, or let's just hear each other out. I don't even have to reach a solution. So maybe I'm not sharing, this made me feel X, Y, and Z, but this maybe led to this action, or this maybe led to this. So I guess to my wife, she could probably say, he doesn't really share how this makes him feel, or he doesn't share his feelings. But I speak or I share my feelings by sharing my thoughts about the situation. So obviously, I got to do a better job of learning how to share that. But I don't know. I don't think in those terms. So
I think it's
that's
pretty
unnatural.
consistent for a lot of men that we communicate our emotions, but it's not the same way that women communicate their emotions. So it doesn't seem like we communicate our emotions.
Right. Right.
So like you said, we think we're doing it,
Right.
but do they feel like we're doing it? That's a whole nother story. Like,
I mean, I think that's the important part there.
that's why when I heard the misunderstanding, it's like if there is no understanding that's happening in the conversation, it doesn't really matter how much you're communicating. You can talk for 2 hours and miscommunicate the entire time and never get anything out of it. And it's like, you just talked.
Yeah.
Y'all communicated, yes, but if you didn't understand anything, y'all still gonna keep going down the same rabbit hole, having the same problems, because you didn't really connect emotionally. You just talked. And I think that for both men and women, we both have to do a better job at understanding each other, because we think so different.
Yeah.
We just do. It's not like we're thinking different on purpose, but we just think differently. And it's like, if we don't take that time to really understand, it's like we're having a conversation, we're listening to each other, and it's like, yeah, I hear you, I'm listening to you, I don't understand. And if we can't get to the point where we understand each other, the issue is going to continue until we can get some level of understanding. That might take months
or years.
or years.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be prepared, especially in marriage, to understand that it takes time. It takes time for those things to kind of work themselves out. But I think that
Why does it take that much time though?
That's a long time.
That's
well,
what are some of the things that causes? I know.
Pride.
it's a couple. It could be a couple of things. It could be literacy in itself. It could be past, like dealing with distrust from your past, and communication with people that you've seen, and you think that a pattern matches something else.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of listening to what is being said, you
Get
think
defensive.
you think
walls
that
up.
something else is going on in your mind, and your imagination can go wild. And that's for both men or women. You think something else is happening when it's not. Maybe you're wrong, maybe you're right, but that it hinders you from being able to listen in the moment. And if you can't listen to a conversation in the moment, you're gonna miscommunicate. Because even if you are listening, like we know that listening is an activity, right? Here, everybody that got ears that work can hear, but listening takes action. If you're listening in the moment, but you're not understanding what's going on, you're gonna have the same problems. And until you're willing to actually sit down and understand what's going on together as a couple, you're gonna continue to deal with the same problem.
Yeah, I was just gonna say just how I think you was talking about trust too. There's a lot of trust involved with being intimate. Like
Tons.
when you talk about sharing your emotions, like I need to be able to trust you with my emotions. Right?
Vulnerability.
Being vulnerable, and I don't want to feel like if I'm being emotional and I'm sharing, then now such and such person has knows that this is what happened and all of this. Like distrust creates walls to intimacy.
Mm.
And
Say that
when
again.
you have
Say that again.
oh my bad. So
Distrust.
distrust creates walls to intimacy.
That's
My
a bar right
God.
there. Hold on, you have to write that one down. Can you put that in the notes, please?
Because you have to
Anybody
drop
got the
those
minutes?
walls. You know, you have to like when you talk about why does it take so long, that's because those walls are still up.
Yeah, walls. Yeah.
You know, the walls are still up. You're still in defense mode, and until the walls come down, which takes a lot.
Come on,
sometimes,
Jericho.
Until they come down, you can't have that intimacy.
Yep. You got to keep blowing that horn
Mm-hmm.
louder.
Mm-hmm.
Taking them trips.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
So-
taking them trips.
Mm-hmm.
Till the
let's-
walls come
Go
down.
round and round
Let's
and round.
let's go mental intimacy.
Mhm.
We got two more, and then we'll end it by saying some ways that we can improve our intimacy. So let's talk. We just did emotional. Let's do mental.
Mental intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a tough one.
no, I think it's just being on the same page. You know, the direction,
That's
especially
tough.
for us as men. I think we have to always have a vision. We have to be able to communicate that vision. We have to be able to you know, say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Let's take what you're thinking, and how can we still execute? Like, how can we, you know, just think alike? You know, one of the things that, like my wife and I, we talk about finances, but sometimes I may not think about finances the way she thinks about finances. But
Oh, you might have to expound.
so, all right. So we're at the end of the month, and you know, obviously, you know, we have incomes. You know, we're paying bills and getting things done. The end of the month is usually a little bit tighter. But in my mindset, I'm like, hey, we should have, you know, this amount of money for me to do A, B, and C. But if my mind is not aligned with her mind as far as where the finances should be going, then now I've spent some money that she's had a plan for, or vice versa.
Oh, talking about spending it somewhere else.
Yeah. So
Okay, I got you.
now we're not on the same page. We're not thinking about what the goal is for, you know, this particular time.
Because you're looking at it cumulatively.
Right. Like, hey,
She's looking at
this
it
should be there.
specifically.
Yeah, but it's not. So that creates like, hey, we weren't on the same page here. And even in that, how do we respond to not being on the same page? You know, that's a level of intimacy. So it just takes like just staying in communication and being aware, like, hey, this is what's going on when it comes to this, and this is what's going on with that. Now let me remember what she said, or you need to remember what I said. This was our plan. Let's stick to the plan. Like, all of those things go to a level of us being in the same mind, or having the same mind towards things. Even when it comes to raising kids, when it comes to education, when it comes to saving, when it comes to, you know, just future goals. Like, hey, if it lines up together and we can be on the same wavelength, it just makes the household run a lot better.
Let me ask this: what if y'all aren't? I'm sorry, this just popped in my head. How do y'all as men react? And I wish there was a woman here to get the women point of view, but I wish there was a woman here to get the women point of view. I wish there was a woman.
Lord.
I wish that the woman's point of view.
I wish there was a Miss Hickman here that could explain. No, I'm just kidding. How do y'all handle or respond to times where you aren't on the same page with your spouse, mentally, emotionally, etc.? Can you still, or how easy or how hard is it for you to still be physically intimate?
Ooh.
let's say y'all
Hold on,
having
wait.
let's say y'all having a rough month. Y'all been arguing,
maybe
or a
I
week. Let's just say a week. Y'all having
I think we
because that's
may-
different
Oh,
between
wait,
a
hold
man
on.
and a
I need you
woman.
to ask that again because I gotta make sure I heard that correctly.
You heard me right. Man.
No, please
You
ask
heard-
that
You heard me right. How do y'all react to times when y'all are not on the same page, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etc.? Are you as a man still able to overcome y'all not being on the same page and still be physically intimate?
I think that
Do you want to be intimate with your wife where y'all ain't on the same page?
I think that it depends. I think that it depends on which level of intimacy is out of whack. If you're mentally, like if y'all ain't connected mentally, and there is no emotional like intimacy at all, you can forget about that. You can forget about. But
no.
if the
For you
emotional,
though, are you still ready to do
This
it?
is a specific question. This
Even
is
though you
a yes or no
and
question.
your
I don't
wife
think I
on
don't I don't
emotionally.
think that
That happens or
just
not.
generally speaking, I don't think that men
No, Tyrell.
Ever.
You, not
listen,
me and you.
listen. Before
Because me,
you-
I'm on go.
I'm trying to explain that.
He trying to
He
get
taking forever to get there.
I don't think that men
He's trying to be
generally
intimate.
ever give up on physical intimacy ever. Like period.
It's challenge time.
Yeah, always.
Shoot,
So-
you rub against me the wrong way.
you
You
can
know I'm
sneeze.
bad.
You can sneeze right.
Mhm.
And it's going down. If you pick up that
But you know what though? Like,
pick that quarter up off the ground like that one more time. I don't
Right.
care what we got going on. It's
but
going
you know
down.
what? The tricky part with that is like, all right, so let's say we're not on the same page.
Mhm.
It's a week, it's a month, and you know, sure enough, she gonna pick that quarter up and it's gonna look good and like, hey, you know,
That's the bait.
exactly. Once I'm kissing you, and you know, it's gonna go down. And I've been in a place where I feel like, oh, everything's good now.
Oh shoot.
Shoot,
Yeah, right.
hey, no.
like,
See,
hey,
that's the mistake right there.
you know, like we good. You know, we
That's
just
always a
smiling,
mistake.
Hey,
and
what
we
was-
feeling good?
What was that one video that man? Hell no. No, it ain't good.
So for me, there was a season where I was like, okay, yeah, we good now. Like,
Yeah,
you know, let's
right.
cuddle.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, now we
Shade
cuddling.
room.
Now it's time to talk about these
Shade room.
emotions. And I'm like, dang, I wasn't ready to really talk about these emotions, and I'm not ready to, you know, really be intimately, be intimate mentally. But
Yeah.
now I done
You
set
ain't got a
myself
choice.
up,
Mhm.
right? So it's the first part. Like, yeah, we on go,
Yeah.
but it's like
The
that doesn't
after.
change
No, it
anything.
doesn't. No.
You know, because there are times where we're super turned on. There's times where the woman's super turned on. You know, coming off cycles, all that kind of stuff. Okay, you might get some, but like mentally, I'm still here.
It's funny, and I know it's like it's on topic, off topic, but I try to explain this to people who are in relationships and they're not married. And, you know, they're considering marriage, or sometimes they end up getting married. And I tell them that there is a mental switch that women have when they get married. It doesn't matter if y'all live together for 15 years. It doesn't even matter. Y'all are married now. She thinks about marriage totally different than you think about marriage.
Big facts.
And so that when that mental switch turns on, the man's mind has not changed. He's like, yeah, we was living together all this time. Everything's just still the same. In her mind, everything has changed.
Soon as you sign on that dotted line.
Oh, everything has changed. So she's looking at every little piece of things that you've been doing for all of those years. Why are you still doing that? We married now. No, it don't work that way no more. We have this connection that we have. Spiritually and mentally now, where we are married, and that forget about the physical and emotional that we've always had. The mental and the spiritual are on another on a new wave now that we're married. That switch that's turned on, I don't know what it is, but it just it changes them. And a lot of those people who don't understand that, they get divorced very quickly. Like, y'all been together for 15, 20 years. Y'all getting divorced. Why? Because they don't understand that for the woman it's changed. They thinking like, oh, this is gonna still be the same. We still living in that. No, everything for her is a totally different mindset for the woman. And so if you don't understand how to consistently move towards connecting mentally, and then merging the mental and the emotional together, then the physical is going it's just going to suffer. And the spiritual, you have to really have the spiritual on your on your own side, but we'll talk about that in a second. Hopefully I didn't get
Did you
y'all
get the
confused.
Yeah, BJ.
BJ
I asked the question. You gave the reaction like you was ready to pop off. You don't got nothing you wanna?
No, I mean
How do you
I'm
overcome?
always on go. However, I'm also in a position to where I'm like, if I'm not right, if it's not right, then my mind is like, if we are to physically do it, I'm going back to it ain't right until we can fix it.
That's funny too.
Cause
Are you
like
the same?
I can go, I've gone weeks
This is a
and months.
curiosity
I
for
think
me.
Hold on,
I'm
I
good.
have gone weeks and months without because things were not right.
Mm.
It's not right. It don't even feel right. It's like we still arguing, and we every time we go to have a conversation, every time we try to mentally get ourselves like to have a conversation, just things just don't go right, and it's like I've gone, and then as soon as we have a conversation and we think things are right, okay, we good. But that goes back to what James just said. Once you pick up that coda and you get it, more emotions come out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you dealt with that one issue for the moment, but you didn't deal with all the other issues that came during that time where you literally wasn't emotionally right or mentally right and even spiritually right. You got to as soon as you have a conversation or you deal with that physical intimacy just for the moment, you still got to go back and deal with all of the crap that was going through that period to where you was not physically there or emotionally there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It gets real serious in those moments because you're trying to do the best that you can to put your best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to do things differently, and it seems like nothing is working. And then all of a sudden, you get that one moment where, boom, it works. You think you're good, but then you got to deal with all the stuff.
Yeah,
It's
the mental is huge.
the mental is that mental part is very because it's a play on both of you.
Yeah, the mental pushes into the emotional. The mental drives the emotions into a state of either euphoria or whatever the opposite of euphoria is.
But I feel like as believers and like as men of God, like a week or months, I feel like that's too long. Like when you I'm just saying
I
when you
I
think
totally
about when
agree.
you think about like spiritually of like, hey, I'm not in right relationship with God. So weeks and months pass and like there's so much time that the devil can spend playing on your emotions and mentally and all of those things to where like one we have to try to work as hard as we can to get our relationship right with God first, and then how much more so for our relationship with our spouses. Like I just feel like when I hear stuff like that, like we're going weeks and months without talking or without being intimate, like I haven't been there, so I don't know, but I just feel like that's a long time to allow
Yes, man.
for that open door for just there to not be intimacy on all of those levels. So I guess I just need some help with understanding how it can go for so long, being how we know and understand how things are spiritually.
It can go for so long because of multiple reasons: pride, ego, somebody just want to be right, and or somebody just don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? Or we just forget that we're not in competition with each other. And I think that's the biggest thing is where a lot of people think in most relationships, because we're not in competition. But you have, if we're not in competition, then stop competing.
Mm.
I ain't
You
competing
talking about with each other?
with each other. You know what I'm saying? And we can't always assume because someone is giving an opinion or responding to something, it's a debate. Because it's not always a debate. It's you have a perspective and I have a perspective. Where do we come to the medium on? What can we come together on? But if it's always I feel this way, or you never let me, or it's I'm just literally responding to your question, just trying to keep the conversation going, it brings a division. I've seen it in my marriage. I've seen it in my friend's marriage. You know what I'm saying? I have a friend right now that's going through it right now, on the verge of divorce, because it's this we're battling, and there's no need to be battling. And most of the time, respectfully, from what I have seen, it's a lot of
Say it.
it's a lot of women who did not grow up in a two-parent household, and also who didn't grow up in a family culture that literally had a married culture. So I grew up in a family where most everybody married. You know what I'm saying? So I seen marriage. Even with my grandparents, I didn't even know they was divorced. I thought they was still together. I'm like, what's going on? And then when I found out, it kind of broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, y'all were the strength of the family, and y'all literally held the position of husband and wife to us for years. You know what I'm saying? And most people never experienced that. So now, I always seen Uncle Barry and Auntie Rita have a conversation, and they both sharing their perspectives. You know what I'm saying? And it was never that part of it's a debate. It's like, no, we're just talking. I never seen, well, besides, never mind, I ain't gonna say it, but I've seen it with other certain people. It's come off as a debate, and it should never come off as that. It's just, let's just talk, because we're both human. We both are individuals continuously trying to become one. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the issue comes in. It's like that moment where, especially when a man feels like he's not being heard, he's gonna shut down. When a man feels like he's not being heard or he's not being respected, when a man feels like, okay, I've given you so much time to express how you feel, and I've let you express how you feel, and the moment that I want to express how I feel, it doesn't even matter, a man is going to shut down, and you're not going to get the emotional intimacy. You're not going to get the mental intimacy, and the spiritual and the physical, it's not going to come like that. And that's just a reality, because to be honest, men are the most submissive men in the world.
You mean people?
We are the most submissive people in the world.
Gotcha.
We are. If the wife tell us to do something right now, we're gonna do it.
You mean in America?
In America.
Whatever. I wouldn't say that's international.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. If Lori told you, babe, I need you to do this, you are going to submit and do it. But if you tell your wife to do something, why I gotta do that? Well, I got too much going on.
Should be like a mutual.
Okay. You sitting there, you go to the barbershop. You submit to that barber. That's what men do.
Sit in my chair.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely.
I'm not
as men.
I don't like that. It's my pause. I'm just saying they'll say this.
Oh wow. No, we definitely men naturally. I won't say we are naturally submissive, but we we talked about this in one of the previous episodes. We were talking about discipline. Men, I think it was the young boys episode where you were talking about the young boy situation in your family. But men naturally look for submission. Like that's why men like sports. They want to submit. They want to get that discipline. They want to submit to a coach. That's why men, you know, that's why the military is appealing to a lot of men because
Right.
they want to get that discipline. So yeah, or father. That's why men
it's a function of
yearn
it's
fatherhood.
a function of respect. So,
Yeah,
So
they look for someone to respect. Look for someone to.
yeah.
But let me ask this. Hold
on.
Do y'all want to finish your thoughts?
Lord?
Go ahead. It's in our nature. I was trying to think if it is in our nature
in our
or if
nature.
we're
That's why
looking or we look for it.
I've
but
seen it in
it's a-
international
it's a little
men.
bit of both.
It's a function of respect. So
You say what?
we don't submit.
Hold on. I agree.
So repeat what she said for the live.
Let me find it.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Ephesians 5.
The Bible tells.
Man, to love his wife.
Oh.
The Bible
Right.
does say that. I totally agree. I'm not going against what the Bible says.
I
I'm
think she's
just-
agreeing. She's agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's agreeing with
Yeah.
you. She's agreeing that men naturally.
Submission is a function of respect. You don't submit to people that you don't respect. Period. So when you see somebody that is being disrespectful,
And most of the time when people don't respect you, what I've seen is because of multiple reasons. It's just things that you may have done, things that you have said. They felt some type of way, and you didn't resolve it, or you tried to resolve it, but then you didn't resolve it the way that you supposed to resolve it. It's so much stuff that's going on, man.
it's consistency a lot. Like a lot of the times when you are inconsistent, you lose that. But when you become more consistent, even if it's consistently poor, they can respect that because it's like, well, he's always like that. But when you good and then you bad and then you're good and then you're good and then you bad again and then you good, and it's like nobody can respect that. They're like, come on, man, what you gonna do? You gonna do it right or you gonna do it wrong? Which one? Do you want it?
all
Do you
things
do-
work together.
Yeah.
The good
So
and the
it's
bad,
like
it all works
You
together.
have to, you literally have to practice doing stuff consistently because it creates the respect that you are desiring, that people are supposed to give you anyways.
Yeah.
But just like, are you respecting yourself? If you don't respect yourself, why are people gonna respect you?
You was finna ask a question, BJ.
Yeah, I want to. It's not changing topics, but I want to ask, what do y'all believe is okay or right, spiritually, biblically, morally, as men of God, men of faith? What is okay, especially when you and your wife, your spouse, are not on the same page intimacy-wise? So to make it more blunt, let's say y'all aren't being physically intimate, y'all aren't making love, y'all aren't having sex, y'all aren't talking. What is okay for a man to do, or a woman to do, really? What is okay for people to do to get their needs met? Is masturbation okay? Is pornography okay? Is talking to another person to get your emotional, mental needs met? Whether you doing all of the above.
What the Bible say?
What does the Bible say? Tell me what the Bible says.
That's why I asked the question, because there's no. I can't say there's no way, but
I don't think we know the answer, but for those that's
there
listening,
has to be a coming together. I feel like,
Coming together?
yeah, like
I agree.
see what you did there.
there has to be a coming together, because if we are not on the same page emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, and it's been weeks and it's been months like I just feel like where so for me, like I'm not gonna go to porn. I'm not going to masturbate. Like I want to be intimate with my wife. And if for one, like if you don't want my mind straying because I don't want my mind straying outside of you, then this is like a necessity at this point. Like we shouldn't be months without being intimate with one another, because that again creates a open door for the enemy to come in. So there has to be some kind of conversation of, we shouldn't be withholding ourselves from one another. So that's again why I asked the question earlier, like how can we be going so long without being intimate, because that just creates so many other issues. So I would say we shouldn't be talking to anyone else. We shouldn't be looking at porn. We shouldn't be masturbating. We should be working on these different levels of intimacy so that we can get back to physical intimacy. So I would say no, 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 no.
I'm gonna say no, 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 no. However, there has been times previously where I have turned to porn. I have turned to allowing my frustration to get poured over into conversation that should not have been there. Um, I can say that, and I can say where I have literally like just dismissed all sexual intercourse with my wife in my head because I'm like, there's no need for me to sit here and have to keep going through this to where, okay, yes, I get that we are in a situation that is temporarily, and all situations are temporarily if we believe that they're temporarily. But if we're looking at our situations and the things that we're going through that are that could be caused by us, or it could be a demonic presence. It just could be the time. It just could be something that's off. But if you're not looking at me in a manner of still want to please my husband, I still want to honor, what the case may be, or I'm just gonna shut down. And that's how I was before. Now, you know, I'm more of in a place of, God, I trust you. You know what I'm saying? I read my word and I just find other things to do to keep my mind off of going back to doing what was old. Because I know what it felt like after I masturbated. It felt disgusting. It felt horrible. Like my spirit man was just like, you didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm condemning myself, and I'm like wondering, like, God, do you forgive me? Because I didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then most time I don't even want to go and just force myself upon my wife, even though the Bible tells us that it's due benevolence. You know what I'm saying? Like we supposed to be getting that. I don't whether you mad or not, but I don't want to go and just start just having sex with my wife because now I feel disgusted just for just going to have sex with her because I'm just trying to get myself off. So there's a lot of things that I've done personally with just within myself as far as just like, what do I have to do spiritually and emotionally and mentally for myself, so that way I'm not straining myself just to just focus on that need. Because trust me, I like the devil tried to play with me the other night, and I literally had to resist the devil, hey, speak the word and all stuff like that. So I'm gonna say no to all of that, even though I've had my failures in the past. It's easy to do those things because you think there's nothing wrong. It's like, I'm just trying to get this nut off, but not realizing that you're literally are destroying the very spirit man that's in you. Like you destroying it. Like I know it. Like it don't even feel right. You know what I'm saying? Look, this doesn't feel right. And once you get that understanding, it's like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
Yeah, I agree. And having gone through these situations myself, I can agree. I can attest that doing that is just, it sets a bad precedence. and just being honest and upfront, it creates a separation from the intimacy that you're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually kind of creates a whole new situation that doesn't appeal to the relationship. It literally separates you from the spouse that you're trying to connect with, and having been a participator in that situation, I can attest to it personally, and I understand just how bad it is. And I think that one of the challenges that we do have is, especially when we're not understanding in our communication and we're not connecting in that way, we find ourselves even more, I guess, disconnected from our future, in essence, because the love that we have for each other obviously remains, but the like part is affected in a very huge way. And I think that if you can love your spouse all you like, but if you don't find a way to like them, then being around them won't satisfy you.
Yeah.
Being around them will literally create animosity, because it's like you're gonna love them, especially if you guys have been together, y'all have children together and stuff like that. You're gonna love them regardless, but liking them, well, that's a choice. And that choice that you make beyond that, um especially when you have that separation in your communication, and y'all not connecting intimately and emotionally and mentally, it just creates animosity. And you will be walking around angry, not even understanding why. And even after you may connect on an emotional, I'm sorry, on an intimate level for a moment, uh you, like you just was saying, you go right back into, well, we still need to resolve these issues that we have. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very important from a mental standpoint to create some you have to create some middle ground. Just naturally, men and women think differently, so at some point you guys have to come to a level of understanding with each other. And if you don't do that, you're not going to create the rest of the stuff that you like. Your spiritual intimacy is really you, as you and God. It ain't got nothing to do with your spouse. But your emotional, your physical, and your mental, that's all you and your spouse. And y'all have to find a way to make those things connect to each other.
Yeah.
Because if they don't connect, y'all not gonna connect.
Big facts.
Y'all don't connect, y'all ain't gonna connect.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
what it is.
I have daughters, so like when I think about moments or seasons in their lives where maybe they aren't on the same page with their husbands, and we as men, like, we still have that need. So it's like, even though mentally and emotionally, like, my daughter may not be there, but I understand that she still has to get in her mind, like, I still need to please him in this way because he has that need. Because the woman doesn't always have the same needs as the man when it comes to sex, right? So she may not need sex for weeks and months and be okay, but the men, we're not going to be okay. So it's like, I think about that a lot of, like, man, like, there's going to be a time where she is not mentally there, emotionally not there, but she still has to submit to her husband in that way. And how do I teach her that or show her that or help her to understand that? Because that's the that's that switch of like everything changes.
That's right.
Like you're my wife. Like there is no withholding. Like there's a switch there, and it doesn't mean that it's always right. And I pray that their husbands don't take advantage of that. But like that's just a place that I think about. Like just truly having intimacy for my daughters, because it's like they're gonna submit themselves to this man, or they're even our wives are gonna submit to us, so that we can have our physical needs met. We need to do our due diligence to have their emotional, mental needs met, and it's not always reciprocated in that way. So I guess I was just thinking about that, of just there has to be, and that's a conversation too, of like emotionally as a man, like I need this. Like we need to talk about this. Like we need to be vulnerable and say, like, I don't want to have these thoughts of looking at porn and masturbating and all of these things. Like I don't want to feel that way spiritually. I don't want to feel disconnected from God in that way. So I need you in this way, so that we don't go months and however long without being physically intimate. And then now from there, let's build. Let me return what you need. Let me fill you up with, these emotions and this, your mindset. Get our mindsets together, and spiritually, let's pray. Let's do those things. So it has to be both ways. Like we have to fulfill each other in those ways.
My wife came to me maybe like a couple of weeks ago, and I understood in the moment why she came to me, because of what she was experiencing with another couple. And she asked me, with tears in her eyes, like, how can I be a better wife, and things like that. And I expressed to her, like, that was the first time where, maybe the first or second time where that question was presented to me, saying like, what is it I can do to make you feel better as a husband? What can I do better as a wife? And I pretty much gave her, like, she wanted me to be honest. So I was honest with her. I was like, hey, give me the opportunity to speak. That was like my biggest thing, because I barely talk. Saying, like, if somebody cuts me off, it's one thing where you're out and in the world, you out in the workplace, and you out, out and about talking to other people, and you have a conversation with other people. There's always going to be cutting off in that moment. But with my wife, I want my wife to give me the space to talk, because as a husband, I give you the space to talk all the time, and I just sit back and I listen. And I said that's one of the things that I want from my spouse, is like, give me the opportunity to just take all of what I have on me and just release it without you interrupting me and making me, and asking all these questions in between. And then I just told her, encourage me, like, just love me, like, just encourage me. Encourage me by just saying the most simplest thing, but you got this. Don't talk at me by saying you got this, but console me. Whisper in my ear. Let me know, man, you got this.
Goes a long way.
It's to me, I saw a video today where this lady said the reason why a lot of women are having a hard time with their men is because they don't listen to their men give them the instructions that they ask them of. So if you ask your husband, what can I do, or your spouse, what can I do better, and they're telling you and you're not going with what they tell you, you're failing every time. Because I'm telling you what I want. I'm giving you signs. I don't like how you dress. I don't like how you dress like that. But you still dress like that. You pretty much saying communication, understanding.
Misunderstanding.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I don't like when you ask me, hey, how you like my hair? I'm not really into it.
I want a turkey sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes.
But you bring me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I
and
think
said,
you want this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This is good for you.
And I made
you
it.
need this.
So
You know what I'm
should
saying?
be
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
it.
This is better. That's too much ketchup. I never told you to tell me that's too much ketchup. I know I put the ketchup on there. You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that. And then it was another thing I said, I told my wife specifically, I said, I don't want to fall back into the mindset of watching porn and masturbating. So I need for you to literally give me that moment of sex if I need it, and I'll come to you. Because women say, you don't know how to, well, I know my wife says it, so I'm going to just talk from my experience. You don't know how to find a better way to say it. I don't know a better way to say it. Or can you, and then when I ask, hey, babe, how should I approach you? I don't know, just figure it out.
Mind reader.
I'm confused because now it shuts me down because I'm like, in my mind, I have a hard.
It's called the look for it theory.
I have a hard. My nuts is hurting right now. I don't have time to sit here and figure out on how. I'm hurting. I'm just being honest. Like, this is gonna be real, man. Be talking. I'm telling the truth.
Been 3 months.
It's been literally 2 months.
I got
3.
you on the next round.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
be right.
Real quick.
like,
please.
come on.
So quick.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I was very honest. I said, don't discourage the moment when I come to you. Say, hey, babe, can I get that? What's up? Don't discourage it. Encourage it.
Yeah. Because then that shuts you down again.
Because now I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I don't even want to do it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But see, from her perspective, she's like, you are. Where is the mayonnaise? It's in the pantry.
Watch the minute.
It's right there. It really is right there, but we don't see it. We just don't see it.
Even
she
though
come
she
in.
thinks she's telling you.
She
the
come
answer.
in. She's like, it's right here, and that's the same expectation that she had when she's saying.
She thinks she's been telling him
Yeah.
how to say it.
Yeah.
You gave a wild parable for that, but okay.
It's the same
I got what you
mentality.
said. It took
It's
a
the
second.
same mentality. It is the. It's in. It's
That's
in
the
the
next.
pantry.
That's an episode right there.
It's in the pantry. It's
saw
right
that?
there.
Yeah.
It's in the pantry. You see, it's right there in the pantry. You like where? Because it's usually over here.
Yeah, we
But
got to
she
talk
put it
about
over
the
here.
women perspective in this. I mean, we don't know the women's perspective.
I mean, because
but
you don't want her to feel like an object. Like, it's not.
Of course not.
Like, that's why I say you don't want them to feel like an object. So you still.
But we also don't want to feel like we need to guess on what it is. Like,
or
it
what
is
do you
what it
do when
is.
you've been guessing and clearly I'm getting it wrong? So just tell me.
no,
man.
it's a multiple guess.
Yeah, I've been guessing for
So
a while.
multiple choice.
I'm
and
getting
it's
it
like-
wrong. So
and-
why don't you
and
just?
it's-
choice with
Look.
6 answers and multiple choice.
But what? We're not even using the real alphabet. What alphabet we use? This is Roman.
A, B, C, D. That's not it. Well, I
Using
tried
the
D.
Greek
That wasn't
the
working.
Greek
I tried
alphabet.
all of the answers that was on the page. Yeah, but it's the
And you
it's the
still
answers
saying
that you
it's not-
didn't see.
Right.
Because I don't know what it is.
Sometimes you gotta try something different. Like
You
be
do.
a little spontaneous.
Sometimes the spontaneity does create a connection.
Okay, but who
Sometimes.
who is responsible for that?
Both.
we are always.
There you go.
Both parties.
What?
No, I just wanted to hear. No,
What,
they answered it.
spontaneity?
Both parties.
Both. Sometimes it comes off as if the man has to be the only
Well, I
one that
guess
is
it does.
spontaneous, and
How
that
was
has
it
to
in the
be the one.
beginning?
That's why I shot the mess out of me when you said, your wife be having candles and bubble baths and all that. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I think we all felt that.
Yeah, I was talking about me.
Like,
were you the pursuer and the aggressor in the beginning?
I was.
Pursuer, aggressor in the beginning with your spouse, with your wife.
Wait, we talking about sexually or just overall?
Just like overall, like flirting.
Yeah, for
Same?
sure.
I think we were both.
Okay, so that's why you get bubble baths. But anyway, so like we
both.
still have to be that way, right?
I mean, yeah, it's always gonna be a little bit of both.
think it was
If there's
both.
interest on the
I
other
mean,
side.
I
They
mean,
gonna
I-
flirt back.
I
According to
did
the
the-
audience,
I did the research on her initially. I needed to know who she was first, so I mean, I pursued initially,
But like
But
when you were
when
trying
we
to
were-
like
Yeah,
get
I think
her,
that when we came
What you mean
together,
get?
like
like
date her,
connecting,
Oh,
dating.
okay.
I think when
like
we
court
when
her,
we
like,
came
we
to
still-
that,
we still have
I'm
to
sorry,
do
my
that.
mind was
I think when it
thinking-
came to the dating situation, it was a lot. It was really mutual. But I mean, I was like, "Hey, BJ, do you know who Lorianne is? No,
Investigating.
she crazy? No, she not crazy. She sane? Okay. I dealt with a crazy girl before her. You know how that is.
Yeah, I dealt with that.
So
Never-
you need to know if you deal with a crazy girl. You need to know if
throw bleach at you.
you need to know who you dealing with because crazy girl will have you locked up.
I'm talking about.
So if it's been weeks and months of no physical intimacy, like where do I mean? And I would say I would put the pressure on us as men, but where do you all think we should start with building intimacy?
So that goes into the 10 ways to improve intimacy. That's
Oh, okay.
so I
We got
mean
10.
hugs, but not just any hug. Just
Hugs.
yeah,
Like
You
just
talking about for who?
you hug her.
to build intimacy.
I think you got to start off with y'all did the love language test, right?
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
did that, knowing how your wife
What
accepts
they're-
love
yes.
and how they need love. I think that's part of it, like knowing how what each other needs. If
Yeah.
I know I'm physical, but my wife is time, I can't approach her being like, "Well, let me just hug up on you," because
Right.
that don't do nothing for my wife.
That's why I was.
She's time, or she's gifts, or
I can hug my
think you
wife
talked
all
about
day.
you
She
are
looking at
words
me
of-
crazy.
right.
affirmation.
Like
Why
that
are
ain't,
you
that ain't
hugging
doing
me?
nothing for me, right?
Okay.
Can we
But
sit
you was-
down and talk?
Right. But you was talking about how you like a words of affirmation person, so you need her to.
I was
give,
just
or one of
I
them.
was just going out the notes that
So
that I
was
had.
one way.
that's just
Right.
one way. I'm
Like,
I'm
my
not
wife
saying
is
that's
physical
not
touch,
the
so,
way.
right. No,
hug-
not for you.
a
But I'm
hug
saying,
For
my
me-
wife would be good.
yeah.
Like my wife is quality time
Mhm.
and physical touch. I am words of affirmation and physical touch.
Mhm.
So
you need a hug.
You need a hug.
I
I
need
love hugs.
I love hugs that leads somewhere.
It don't even matter if it lead nowhere for me.
Just
hug.
wanna-
No.
All right.
No,
just wanna-
I mean, hold on, wait.
This is
Hold-
wait,
hold-
before you say that. So this is a distinction that we have to make. So intimacy doesn't always
We
need
might
to
as well go into part
lead
2 right now.
somewhere, right?
Cut it.
Hear me out.
I'm just saying.
Hear me out.
Agreed.
If I'm giving you time,
Mm.
okay? I'm giving you quality time and I'm giving you physical touch. Okay? You know I'm words of affirmation. I'm not getting words of affirmation, but you're giving me physical touch. It has to lead somewhere. Everything leads somewhere.
You talking about to physical intimacy though?
Everything leads somewhere. We all do what we do because we're looking for a benefit. That's just a reality.
Where
Wait.
it leads is the question. That's what we trying to figure
Listen,
out.
if you feel that thing get hard between your legs, let's go somewhere.
You talking about chores, right?
I'm talking about me. Like, don't just leave me high and dry.
Whoa.
But like, all
Don't
right, so
leave
this
me
is-
high and dry.
All right, let me give y'all a tip. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a tip.
Don't
All right.
leave me
Pause.
high and dry. We've been hugging.
All right, this is going the road to
If you feel if you feel we hugging, me and you hugging, and you know what I'm saying, I'm grabbing on your booty, you know what I'm saying, I'm spending time, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm putting in the work, I'm putting in the effort. Hey, listen, let's lead. This should go somewhere.
You know what?
Should.
Mess her mind.
It
up, though?
should go
But-
somewhere.
But you need to be you need to also be okay if it don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let me do your love language and not give you sex. Like,
How many days we gotta do that?
We're not talking about we're not
How
talking,
many days we got to do that?
We're not talking about days. We're just talking about
Like-
in the moment.
Fill her love tank without giving her physical
Now,
intimacy.
How
and
now-
she'll return to you physical intimacy.
That's what I was.
see?
yeah.
And okay, so now
it
it
don't
goes
have
back
to
to
go straight there.
okay.
Because
so
remember-
now,
You
hold on,
remember-
wait.
You gotta
we
And
play.
now
gotta
it goes
connect.
back
We
to
gotta connect
we
to the
all
mental.
do everything for a benefit.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
what's
if
the benefit
I
is
literally
what we
just
saying.
said
What
the
is the
benefit,
benefit?
if you're saying the benefit is sex,
it's
right?
it's
That's what we're trying to
reciprocal.
figure out. It is.
The benefit is sex.
Or is it intimate? Or is it just
Intimacy,
Plant those
sex.
seeds of intimacy.
I'm planting the seed. I'm hugging you. I'm kissing you. Good morning, beautiful. How you doing? I'm washing the dishes.
But if you
I'm even
drop-
cooking.
if you drop a
hold
seed
on,
in-
I'm not done. I'm making sure everything is done. Taking some of the load off for you. You don't. Oh, you want to stay in the bed? Okay, don't worry about it, babe. Oh, you hungry? Got you, baby. Don't worry about it. Got you. Oh, you need me to take? I got you. How long does that go? Come on, man. Don't act like
That's
y'all
case
ain't been
by
putting
case.
in
I
work.
mean, that's
I'm not
case
finna
by
Y'all
case.
not
Like,
putting in work.
I'm
Hold
just
on. Don't
saying,
act as if you're
I know
not
what you
putting in
mean.
work, and then it's you not, and you in here like, what's up?
I know what you mean. But
That's
it
all
doesn't-
I'm saying.
But
And
it doesn't necessarily have to end in sex. Sometimes intimacy is.
I
the
never.
cuddle.
I never.
It shouldn't
So
be
you gonna-
weeks
so-
and months.
hold
That's
on,
what
wait.
I'm saying. Like
It
That's
shouldn't
all
be
I-
weeks
that's
and
all I'm
months. Of course
saying.
not. It
That's
shouldn't
all,
be weeks and months.
All I'm saying
Yeah.
is how long do you have to keep playing? Ask the question. Oh no, Lord, ain't no as long as nothing. No,
I don't think it's so much of a how long as much as it is of how much.
Hey, you give me sex twice a week, I'm good.
That might work.
fair.
It might not work though. It might be once.
You give me.
It might be 5.
I think the question is, what's her timeline? Like, I know you're asking us, but that's like, if you're talking about you specifically, obviously we
I'm-
can't answer that. But in
I'm-
general,
I'm just saying.
we should be asking. Okay,
See, that's what a
And
meeting
that's
you
a
got.
conversation too, though.
And there's a meeting. This is a situation where if you don't meet the mind, and the emotions might be there, but if you don't meet the mind, you're probably not gonna get nowhere. You might be doing everything, but if you have not met the mind of her, you still not gonna get nowhere. You still gonna be weak.
If we haven't met the mind of each other, we ain't getting nowhere.
Agreed.
All right, thank you.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be the meeting of the minds has to happen. If the meeting of the minds doesn't happen, you're gonna have a problem.
I mean, y'all said either whether y'all good on the mentals or not, y'all ready, right?
We not talking about we not talking about men.
Well,
we
we
talking
said
about
most men.
us.
We said
No,
most men.
but you.
No, we talking about
you
us
said her.
situation, the
I
men.
said us.
We talking
You
about men
said
and
the
women.
mental of her mind. I said the mental of both our minds.
All
It,
what's
it don't
number
matter.
two?
It don't matter
What's
if
number two?
Man,
You did
listen,
hug.
it don't matter if it's
Hugs.
yours. If she ain't ready.
5. If she ain't ready, okay.
Keyword.
Because you always ready. I know I am.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And look, Lori always ready too. Having bubble baths and putting out clothes.
Hey, I mean, this
Outfits.
is a fun fact. Like this really tripped me up when I was learning about sex. Like there are women who think about sex and
Have a
want
higher
sex
drive.
and have a higher drive than
Yeah.
men.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I realized that, I was like, "Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah. They exist.
Mm-hmm.
They exist." And that
They
like
do
really
exist.
had me
Unicorns.
tripping. Right? Like,
Yes.
and then there were women that didn't want to cuddle.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That
they
was
exist.
confusing. I learned a lot when I was growing up. Helped me a lot in my marriage.
They
Number three,
definitely
three,
exist.
three.
But going back before you go to number 3, I'll say this last thing.
We
One of
didn't
y'all
even get to number 2 yet.
or 2. One of y'all talked about how prior situations on both parts, men and the women parts or sides, can cause the walls to go back up to where you can be like, all right, it's been months of X, Y, and Z, and I've been there. But something in those months caused distrust and caused
Mhm.
walls to go back up.
Yep.
So in your mind, we're on a 3-month timeline. On her mind, the month just started because
Mhm.
that distrust situation just happened, and now these new 7 walls just went up.
I had
Or
it-
on the men's side, same
I had a
thing.
situation
You
that
got
happened.
indicted.
Had a situation that happened.
Mugshot.
We talked about the situation. She asked me about the situation. I told her there was no situation. Very innocent. I was very, very honest about the situation. I got sex every day.
Intimacy.
No,
Add to that.
that wasn't no intimacy.
That was
Us-
a meeting of the mind.
What you call it?
That's
You met to the mind. I'm telling you, meeting the
whatever
mind is
she
the right
thought. Whatever
place.
she thought I did
Security,
wrong.
that was
Whatever she
security.
thought I did wrong.
She
And
was-
I will honestly, I should not have had those vulnerable conversations because in that point in my life, I was in need of something and my wife did not provide that. Felt very lonely. never had sexual intercourse with no other woman, never cheated on my wife in that matter, never that. But the conversation we had it, I told like nothing, and we both had. Okay, we did have a both of me on the minds. If we were, if I was like, if you done, I'm done. It is what it is. As long as Holly good, we boom, we there. Every single day we had sex after that.
So
I'm talking about
so
all the way
you
in.
need to expound because there was some level of distrust, and then there was a conversation that brought about emotional
Understanding and
security.
emotion.
There's
Mhm.
mental understanding. There's an alignment now to where
Or it
yeah,
could have,
all day.
just been just sex. That, I mean, maybe she was. I'm
She
not
had
saying
to-
this situation, but there've been times where women Dave was probably horny too, and they're all right.
That's
We ain't
true.
on the
It's
same
that
page.
time of the month.
I still hate you, but I'm gonna give it to you because I need some too. That could have.
That's what I'm
That
saying,
could be
like,
it
That
too.
that happens
trips me
too.
out.
That happens
Yeah.
too, but it
That's-
very
that's-
rarely happens without meeting other mind. Very, 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 very rarely.
Depends on how long you've been married.
So,
So-
there's some emotional security there. There's some.
I'm gonna have to
There's
split
some,
this into 2
some
episodes.
physical
Yeah.
intimacy there as well. That's cool, man. You got to cherish those moments and learn from those moments too. Like, what did I do good in that situation? And I need to repeat that
Repeat that.
so I can get that result again.
Oh, okay.
Wash,
All right,
rinse,
say
repeat.
less.
I mean,
Wash,
not
rinse,
the-
repeat.
Go through my phone, see what's in there. All right.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
it.
listen. All right, real talk. All right, if you're, let's say you have an issue with distrust or talking to other women, whatever the case may be. Maybe you watching porn, and your wife goes through your phone. She doesn't see porn or she doesn't see conversations. That brings about a mental, I don't know, clarity. That brings
Yeah,
about
you're building
emotional
points.
security.
I know what
You
I'm gonna
get
do.
Points, ching, ching, ching.
I know what
You
I'm gonna
getting laid
do.
all week.
I'm gonna go and get another phone. Like
I
a little
got
prepaid
2
phone,
phones.
and I'm gonna just text myself.
Just stir up.
just stir
Yeah, I
up,
like how
just
you
stir
handle
a
that
just stir a
conversation.
confrontation.
Sometimes you need that too, though. Like I talked about, like being spontaneous. Like I don't know. Sometimes our wives need to still see that we're fun, we're human, we still got a little crazy in us too. Like like that's why I was saying like we still need to flirt with our wives and things like that. Not make it be boring and things like they still need excitement. Like they still need just something.
They
Like,
need to
I
be
don't know.
pursued.
So then y'all
Of
need to put on
course.
some nasty
Of
music.
course.
Huh?
Hey,
And-
every so often,
I
like,
wanna swim,
send a YouTube video of a song or something like something random, like something random like that. All right, like you playing something random like that. Like where'd that come from? Like what's on his mind?
All right, man. We got to get
Picture in your birthday suit.
This is a great conversation,
Exactly,
man.
like, be a little bit spontaneous.
All right, let's just go through it real
Gotta
quick. So
break the
10
rules.
ways to be intimacy. I saw that it was saying 20-second hugs, random 20-second hugs, 5-minute eye gazing,
Lot can
5
happen in 5
compliments.
minutes.
Just gazing.
Number 4, foreplay. I like how they put
Eye
that in there.
gazing is huge.
Excuse me. Number 5, speak each other's love language.
BJ.
They call it soul
Um,
gazing.
Number 6 is 20-second kisses. Number 7 is state 5 things you love about them. Number 8, send a naughty picture.
you too.
Number 9, plan a fun date. And number 10, cuddle.
Cuddle. Boom.
Mm.
The planning part, that's what I need work. I get that.
So
gotta get that down.
which challenge y'all gonna do?
I'm gonna do the planning.
Planning.
That's my challenge. I gotta get that right.
I need to do all 10.
I'm gonna send a
Just I need
I'm gonna send a naughty pic. Yeah, baby.
All right. Well, it's a wrap.
Hey, man.
See what kind of rewards you get.
I will expound on one word though. So you said the OG was telling you like not to cuddle and whatnot, and it was like when you got married, it was like I think you used the word otherwise, and I think that hit me hard. Like it was another wisdom. the wisdom worked in the area where he frequented. If he was sleeping around, what he was telling you was game for the streets,
Yeah.
but not for the sheets.
Yeah.
Not for the marriage.
It wasn't.
sheets.
It's a
It
switch.
wasn't
Not
for
for
the.
the marriage
It wasn't
shifts.
for the marriage bed. It was for something quick.
Mhm.
So it was other wisdom. The wisdom that you have now is definitely the
Not
area
all
that you
wisdom
need
is
to
right
continue.
wisdom.
All right, so we're gonna challenge ourselves this week. By
Yeah.
the next episode, we should at least say, what are some things that we have done, and see if we made a difference.
I
Was
like
there a difference
We got some rewards
in the week? So, those
What if no
10.
benefit came with it yet, though?
Then that's what we're gonna
Then
talk
so,
about.
that's what we'll talk about.
Okay.
So we'll just do a continuation, and then we'll add on,
But do
something
it
else.
without
The
expecting-
expectation of wanting
Why
sex.
you gotta say it like that?
He gotta say it. He has to
got
say
it.
it to himself.
Gotta make himself believe.
He got to make the mental note.
Even though I've been doing that,
yeah,
even
I
though
know,
I've
sir.
been doing it, I mean, I just keep it going there.
I don't look like what I've been through. Amen.
So yeah, I ain't gonna lie though, I love to cuddle after sex. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of cuddling after sex. It's just a great feeling. But hey, who am I? I'm just Tony Henry. So listen, man. This is a great conversation. Long. This is our longest one yet. However, it was a great conversation, man. Listen, if you are not following Real Man Be Talking podcast, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and make sure that you go ahead and follow us. So that
But
way,
wait, I'm sorry.
what's up?
You got to talk about Christ, man.
I was getting there.
Okay.
That's
Just making
crazy.
sure.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that way you're able to get all of the latest videos that's coming out. You're able to literally connect with us. Make sure you follow us on IG. And also, this is the most important part of the whole podcast, man. Listen, we love God up here. As you can see, we love God. We love his people, and we only want the best for his people because we know that if we do God's will in the earth, he will take care of us in the earth. So the most important thing I want to bring to you is Jesus Christ. I can't give you him, but I can definitely present him to you and say, hey man, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no man can go to the Father but by through him. And if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, and you can be saved. And we want you to be saved today. So
Come as you
confess.
are.
Confess. And just, hey, give it all to God. And the best decision that you can make in your entire life is just by giving your life to God. Become a disciple. Find you a good home church, you know what I'm saying, and submit to that church and learn from that church. Learn a good pastor, you know what I'm saying, so that way you can live this Christian walk, this Christian faith, and you could do it by faith in everything that you do. So listen, find God. Go to Jesus, and he will literally change your whole life. It was a phenomenal night. We love you all with the love of the Lord, and I pray that you all have a phenomenal rest of the night. So this is Real Man Be Talking podcast, where every man has a story.
Has a story.
This
This
This is ours.
Peace.
Peace.
Shout out to what was it? 5 love languages. Fireproof your marriage.
Are we cut or what?